Do you struggle to hold your pee in? And when you lift heavy, you sometimes leak, and you want this to stop. You are not alone. Athletes, pregnant ladies, your average Joe blogs down the road, they almost probably suffer with pelvic floor issues. Pelvic floor is overly underrated in the fitness industry, and a lot of times it is overlooked. So I'm here today to show you how to train it effectively, what exactly it is, and why is it so important, especially when we are training and those leakage do happen. I'm going to show you how to control that. So keep watching. So what is the pelvic floor? It's a group of muscles and connective tissue located at the base of the pelvis. Think of it kind of like a hammock or a sling at the bottom of your pelvis. This conception is that it's only found in women. It's not. It's also found in women and men. It runs from the pubic bone to the tailbone. What does the pelvic floor actually do? So first of all, it helps support the organs. So it helps support holding of the uterus, the bladder and the rectum. It helps us control our pee and our poo, so we don't just pee ourselves or poo ourselves when we're walking down the street. And it does this by contracting and relaxing. It helps with core stability. So it works with the deep core stability, so we engage our abdomen to help with balance, pressure and strength. And it also helps with managing the pressure in our abdomen when you lift, cough, sneeze and do any sort of exercise. So now we're going to move on to how to actually engage our pelvic floor with a few exercises that I'm going to show you and how to actually strengthen it. You're going to start off in a seated position. And we're just going to focus on our breath. So moving with our breath is really important for the pelvic floor, so we can contract and relax. Start off, we're just going to focus on our breath. And I'm going to kind of guide you through the next kind of bit. So just follow along with me. Just bring our shoulders back. We're just going to relax our pelvic floor, relax our muscles. And when we breathe in, I want you to think about relaxing your pelvic floor. When you breathe out, I want you to think about like you're holding a pee in, you're just bringing your pelvic floor up and you're bringing your lower abdomen in. So let's have a go. So we're going to inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to think about bringing our pelvic floor up and bringing our abs in. So key mistakes that people tend to do is over squeeze their muscles. So they engage their glutes, they engage their thighs, they bring their ribs up like this. They engage the whole core. That's not what we want. The pelvic floor is just a subtle movement. You shouldn't engage any other muscles except for your pelvic floor and your lower core. So we're going to do that again. We're going to inhale. And on the exhale, we're just going to bring our pelvic floor up and bring our lower core in. And again, inhale. And exhale, think about bringing it in for the whole exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale, like you're holding that pee in, bring it up and bring your lower core in. And we're going to do one more. So inhale. And exhale. Think about holding it in. Bringing that core in. Good. The next exercise we're going to do is a glute bridge. So we're going to come onto our backs. You're going to bring your heels into your bottom. Arms out to the side. And we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to take a deep breath in. And this is where we relax our pelvic floor. So we bring our lower back onto the floor. We relax our pelvic floor, so let go of any tension. And then when we bring our hips up in the glute bridge, this is where we think about exhaling and also tightening our pelvic floor, contracting our pelvic floor. So we're holding that pee in. We're going to hold it at the top for 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly bring it down. Inhale. Relax your pelvic floor. And on the exhale, you're going to bring your hips back up again. Think about contracting your pelvic floor this time and your lower core. That's the only muscles we want to be working here. And then for 5 seconds, Once you've done 5 seconds, you're going to slowly bring it down again. Over time, you can maybe add more seconds. So for a beginner, I would say start with 5 seconds. And then you could think about trying to aim to get to like 10 seconds. So we're just going to do one more. So we're going to inhale, relax, and exhale. We're going to lift our hips up to the sky. Bring your like you're holding that P in. Hold it for 5 seconds. And then slowly bring it back down. Okay, so the next exercise we're going to go through is the sit-up. So we're going to start on our backs. Same thing, like the glute bridge, same breath. So you're going to take a deep inhale. You're going to relax your pelvic floor here. Bring your lower back onto the floor. And then when you sit up, I want you to think about exhaling. We're just going to hold it here. Think about squeezing your pelvic floor and you're just going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly come back down to the floor. We're taking a deep inhale, and we're going to do that again. So take a deep breath, relax your pelvic floor. On the exhale, you're going to sit up. You're going to bring your pelvic floor muscles up like you're holding a P. You're just going to hold it for 5 seconds. And then slowly relax again. Remember, you only want to be squeezing your pelvic floor and your lower abdomen. You don't want to be squeezing your glutes. You don't want to be squeezing your thighs. It's just those muscles that we want to be working. And again, so you're going to inhale, relax, exhale, engage your pelvic floor, bring it all the way up like you're holding that P in. And then slowly relax back down. Let's just do one more again. So inhale, relax. And on the exhale, you're going to sit up, engage your pelvic floor, hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly relax. Next exercise we're going to do is a squat to a chair. So start off with sitting in the chair. You're just going to relax your pelvic floor. And then on the stand up, that's when we are going to contract. So let's inhale, relax. And on the exhale, you're going to stand up and then you're going to think about bringing your hips forward and bringing that pelvic floor up, engaging your lower abs. And again, you're going to sit down nice and controlled. Weight balance for your feet. Inhale, relax. And on the exhale, you're going to stand up and you're going to contract like you're holding that P. And again, sit your hips back like you're sitting in a chair. Well, you are sitting in a chair, hopefully. Inhale. And on the exhale, you're going to contract your pelvic floor on the way up. And again, sit back. Inhale, relax. And exhale, contract. We're going to do one more. So sit back into that chair. Inhale, relax. And exhale, contract on the stand up. So what I want you to think about now is taking what you've learned in these 3 moves and take it to the gym. Anything that you do in the gym, let's take a deadlift for an example. I want you to think about exhaling on the work. So the work would be when you pick up the bar. That's the hardest part of the movement. And then the lowering is where you're going to inhale and place it back onto the floor. Imagine having a deadlift in front of you. You're taking hold of the bar. You're inhaling before you pick it up. You're bracing. And on the stand up, you're going to think about exhaling on the way out. And I want you to really focus on bringing your pelvic floor muscles up and engaging your lower core as well. This is something that is completely overlooked in training. A lot of personal trainers don't really know how to teach it. So I'm hoping this video can help you now when you go back into your training to really think about every time you exhale, try and get that pelvic floor activated and bring it up like you're holding that P in, so we can stop leaking in embarrassing moments like the gym or just walking around. I hope this helps. Right, so you know how to use your pelvic floor muscles in the right way now. What about your hip movement? This can also be a massive disadvantage if you can't move your hips right in strength training. So what I would suggest is to watch this video, and that will get you moving your hips like you are Shakira, baby, because your hips don't lie.